Alright, so you guys, here are our sweet potatoes. I've got 4, they're pretty big. I'm going to rinse them off and get them cleaned. And then what I'm going to do is wrap them in tin foil and roast them in the oven. So let me scrub these off and then I'll wrap them and roast them in the oven. Alright, so I have all of the sweet potatoes wrapped in tin foil on a half-sheet pan. I'm going to put them in the oven. I've got the oven at 350, and I just want to show you, when you're wrapping it, have the seam on the top, okay? Because sometimes the sweet potatoes burst open and their sticky syrup from the center comes out, and it's not that big a deal, but it does make your sheet pan dirty. It's hard to clean off. If you don't have a sheet pan and you just put them in the oven, then it'll help prevent the oven from getting dirty. So always put the seams of the tin foil at the top, so that way if the juices do come out of the sweet potato, it doesn't go all over your sheet pan, it doesn't go all over your oven, and it helps save time cleaning up. I also find that the tin foil insulates the sweet potato evenly and helps it bake and roast much faster. So here are our sweet potatoes. I brought them home, and we're gonna take the tin foil off and the skin, and then I'm going to put them in this little bowl and we're going to mash it. And what we need to do is make sure that we have 3 3/4 cups of mashed sweet potato. If we don't, then I'm going to have to roast some more sweet potatoes. So come back in a second. So if you recall, I told you to leave the tin foil on as they cool, so that way it's so easy to peel off, because the condensation that forms helps make the skin sweat. So look, I'm just peeling this. Look how easy it is. I'm just peeling it. It's coming right off. So make your life easy. Leave the tin foil on until it cools, and then you can just peel the skin right off. It's so easy now. Okay, so let me finish doing all of these, and then I'm going to mash them up and measure it. All right, and they're all peeled. And now this is called a potato masher, okay? So if you have one of these, by all means use it, make your life easy. If you don't, go to old trusty fork. You're gonna mash the sweet potatoes, see? That's not difficult at all. You just wanna get them all mashed. But since we have the potato masher, we're just gonna put them all inside the bowl, and I'll use the potato masher to do it. So let's get that one in, this one, this one, and this one. All right, so this is all you gotta do. Squash it in. There you go. See? Not that difficult. You just keep going around and around and keep squishing it. So we have our 3 3/4 cups of mashed sweet potatoes, or 2 pounds. And unfortunately, I don't have real maple syrup. My mother doesn't even, so depressing, unfortunately, but we can use Aunt Jemima's, no problem. And here's our heavy cream. We have our butter. We have to measure that, melt it. Here's our brown sugar. We have to measure that. Our 3 eggs, vanilla, our crust, salt, and heavy cream. I'm going to have to measure everything and start mixing it all together, and our half-sheet baking plan. Okay. All right, so here we have our 3 eggs. They're inside the bowl. That's our whisk. And here is our 1 cup of brown sugar. Would you like to put the brown sugar into the eggs, please?
Sure.
Okay. We need 1 cup plus 3 tablespoons. So there we go. Now you want to stir that together? Please, thank you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get the 3 tablespoons of sugar. You want them packed. All right, you want to add that? Okay, that's 1.
It is more.
Okay, 1.
I can use my other hand too. I can use 2 of them.
That's right. Keep stirring, honey. Okay, that's 2. Good job. Keep stirring.
Oh, there's more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get all.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's 3. Okay, add it in the bowl. Got it?
Get more.
All right. Now keep stirring, And while you're stirring, I'm going to drizzle in the maple syrup. 1/4 cup of maple syrup. Well, this is Aunt Jemima's, but that's okay. All right, go ahead. Keep stirring with the whisk. Let's get every little bit out. If you have dark corn syrup, you could even use that. So if you don't have Aunt Jemima or real maple syrup, you got to keep stirring.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to pour in the 3/4 cups of heavy cream. Let's get all of that in. Okay, keep stirring.
Ooh, it looks good, Mom.
Great.
Now we need some.
And we need 1 tablespoon of vanilla.
Can I dump in vanilla?
You stir. I'm going to do the vanilla. Okay, there's our 1 tablespoon of vanilla. You want to put that in? Great. All right, so stir that. And we need some salt.
Can I dump in this? You say hello.
Okay, there you go. Here's your 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay, stir that around. Keep stirring it, and then we have to add our 2 tablespoons of melted what?
Butter.
Yes. Okay, you keep stirring.
Can I do it?
No, I don't want to. It's hot. Please don't.
How about I hold it with you?
How about? All right, so I'm going to drizzle in the butter. You stir. There we go. That's our 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And I'm saving just a little tiny bit to spread inside the pie dish, okay? Now you're going to keep stirring that. Gently. Stir it gently. And with whatever butter that was left over in here, I'm going to use my pastry brush, and I'm going to spread that butter inside the pie shell. And we do that because that makes a barrier. The melted butter makes a barrier, so that way the filling, which is really moist, doesn't make our crust soggy. Okay? You do not want a soggy bottom crust. No, 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 no. So,
I'm done.
you're done? Keep stirring a little bit. It has to look homogeneous, uniform, okay?
Now can we put in this in here?
Yep, we're gonna fold that in next. So I'll get a spatula and then we'll fold that in. So my helper took over painting the butter on the pie crust. Make sure you get the top. You wanna get every little bit completely covered. Good job. All right, so now we have the sweet potatoes. Everything's been mixed in here. And we're going to fold in the sweet potatoes. Get that all cleaned off, and then we can fold it in. All right, you're going to switch to a spatula. You're not going to use the whisk anymore. And you're going to fold it in. Folding is this action 12 on the bowl to 6 on the bowl. Straight down, flip it over, and turn. Okay? I also like to usually rotate the bowl, but since I'm holding the camera in the other hand, I'm not rotating it today. But you just keep doing this over and over until it gets mixed in together. Every so often, scrape down the edges. And as soon as it comes together, we're going to stop. We don't want to keep stirring it. We want this filling to be thick. But as soon as it comes together, then we can stop and we'll pour it into the pie shell, which has been completely buttered.
Stop or talk.
Okay, so this is the proper consistency. It's completely mixed in, and now we're going to pour it into the pie shell. So, I hope I don't mess it up. I'm doing this one-handed. I'm going to spread that out. And I got to get more in. Okay, it should be a heaping amount because this, as it bakes, the liquid is going to evaporate, and you don't want your pie to be sunken in the middle. You want to be at least level, if not over. So you got to heap on the filling. So it's going to be a lot. I need 2 hands. Okay, that's ready to go in. See how heaping it is? I got to get it into the oven. It's at 300 degrees, and it's going to take like an hour to an hour and a half. So actually maybe up to 2 hours. It's pretty thick. So we will check on it later. All right, so this has been in for an hour and a half, and you see how it's still jiggling in the middle? So I know it's not set. I'm going to put it in for 15 minutes, and then I will use a paring knife to put in the middle and make sure it's set all the way. Okay, so now it's been in for an hour and 45 minutes. We're going to stick this in and pull it out. Oh, it's pretty clean. It's done. Now I can take it out of the oven. Okay, here it is, our finished sweet potato pie. Now all we need to do is serve it with some freshly whipped cream and maybe some grated nutmeg or some vanilla ice cream, and it's going to be out of this world. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make sweet potato pie, and maybe you'll make it for yourself for Thanksgiving. All right, take care, everybody.